Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. We have the prayer and the pledge by Councilwoman DeeDee Johnson-Reed.
Heavenly Father, we come before you today asking for your guidance and wisdom as we gather to make decisions for our community. Bless this council with clarity, understanding, and a spirit of cooperation. Help us to act with integrity and a genuine desire to serve the needs of all of our citizens. May our discussions be fruitful, our decisions just, and our hearts always be open to those we represent. Grant us the courage to do what is right and the humility to listen and learn from one another. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Showing us up. Cool. Because of loud.
Roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas.
Present.
Councilmember Brooke Marcotte. Here. Councilmember Marlon Lewis. Here. Councilmember David Broussard.
Here.
Councilmember Deidre Ledbetter. Here. Councilmember DeeDee Johnson-Reed. Here. Councilmember Dan Darrell.
Here. Do we have any public comment cards? We have no comment cards at this time. I remind you to put your phone on silent. And we're going to move on to item 2A.
Acceptance of the minutes, regular meeting of September 3rd, 2024, which will be published on September 18th, 2024.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas, second by Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte. Is there any discussion on our meeting minutes of September the 3rd? Seeing none, please vote your machines. Thank you. 2B.
Special meeting of September 9th, 2024, which will be published on September 21st, 2024.
I need a motion.
Second.
Councilman Marlon Lewis, Councilwoman DeeDee Johnson-Reed. Any discussion on our minutes from September the 9th? Seeing none, please vote your machines. Thank you. 3A.
Resolution number 24109, a resolution appointing Brooke Malazzo to the New Iberia Parks and Recreation Commission for the remainder of a 5-year term.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas, Councilwoman DeeDee Johnson-Reed.
Is she here?
Come on up.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for coming.
Really nervous, but I'm happy to be here.
Oh, no, look, and we need all the volunteers we can get to help us, so I can't thank you enough for coming.
And
Is
I
there
have
any?
some fresh ideas to bring to the table.
Well,
hoping to make some changes.
That's a good thing. Any questions, comments?
Nope, welcome.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you for volunteering.
Welcome and thank you for
I love to volunteer when I can for the animals and for the kids.
Good, good.
That's awesome.
Cool. Then if there's nothing further, please vote your machines. All right, you're in. Thank you.
You weren't scared about getting the votes.
All right, 3B.
Resolution number 24110, a resolution awarding contract to Louisiana Testing and Inspection Incorporated for testing related to upcoming asphalt street reconstruction and authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documentation in connection therewith.
I need a motion. Motion. Motion, Councilman David Broussard, and a second, Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte. Is there any discussion on this item?
I have a
Good.
question.
Okay, and we have John here who can answer your question.
So, I read through the contract, John, and I don't know, maybe I missed something, but I didn't see where there was any type of penalty for not finishing the project within the 6-month time frame. I mean, I know the last time we had people stop, go somewhere else, and then it delayed our project, so I'm just trying to figure out, are we gonna do that here?
This is not the construction.
It's just the testing.
Okay.
These are the guys that facilitate us. They come in, they assist us with the testing. But in the reconstructions, there's a lot of preliminary work that has to get done. Because there's certain processes we have to go through, certain material testing we have to do in order to finish the road design. So we need them to come in as early as possible because this process, just to get the reports back, takes about 3 months.
Okay,
They gotta come physically core up, make a little core in the road, take dirt sample, road sample. They have to bring that back to the lab. So this contract is just for those guys to do the testing and the inspection that we need when we're reconstructing streets.
I understand, it's just that it had a time frame around it.
Right.
And so if they don't meet the time frame, it's like, okay, so what's the penalty?
Well, the initial time frame was just to give us the initial report because we need that as fast as we can. But it's the 6 months is basically what we're estimating the construction project is gonna last.
Okay,
Once we go to construction. So I'm just giving them a time frame to let them know this is what our anticipation is. You know, it's not set in stone, it's an anticipated time frame once we go to construction.
And
Okay.
the rest of it will be at the pace of the contractor,
Yeah.
because they'll need testing along the way.
Right.
That's where, because you're 100% right, that's where we're gonna up our liquidated damages and make sure that we don't get a contractor who skips out on us and just pays the fee, the fine.
Right.
So in that case, they will keep up with the contractor when you get to that part.
I mean, these
Okay.
companies here, all the
That
ones
was
we,
good.
we sent to, they're all local out of Lafayette. In 15 years, we've had no issues ever with a geotech sub,
Okay.
not performing.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are eager beaver. This is what they do every day, you know?
okay.
So they've always been, everyone we've worked with always been
Yeah.
on task and available when we need them.
I mean,
You
we've
know,
been,
I'm not gonna be here next time in case they're they're one day late, I'm coming to the meeting. No, I'm joking. No, I'm just messing with you. Okay, I'm just, wanna make sure that we cover ourselves.
Yes, ma'am.
So we don't have the same issue.
fill out a comment card. No, I'm picking on
I will.
Councilman Dahl.
So in his contract, I saw we pay him upfront 4,200, and
That's a
we
lump
pay him
sum.
through the contract throughout the
As-
progress?
Yeah, as we get them in, they do testing, they bill on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
That's all factored in our budgets when we give you the price for a street. That cost for that service is estimated as a percentage, so we have a budget line item, but they're T&M.
So,
T&M
yeah.
deal.
So no matter how long it takes, it's still 45, 155? Pretty much?
Well, I mean, the chart in the back,
Yeah.
So basically, that chart is basically we put forth, we're guessing.
Okay.
We have to put a value, that way we get the companies bidding on the same thing on an equal footing.
Okay.
So we estimate how much time and test we think we're gonna need based on the roads that we chose for the RFP, but that's gonna fluctuate. I mean, it's gonna basically, at the end, it's just like the construction projects, you're gonna balance out the contract.
Oh,
You
so
wanna-
we've been really per
He's been in a
unit.
contract they're basically helping us do the
Right.
testing for inspection and testing for construction.
So every time we do a draw, it doesn't come back to the through us for the money?
They're gonna send you a monthly invoice.
Oh, they will?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I see
So-
them every month.
Okay, cool.
I mean, we review all the invoices, make sure everything's kosher, we got
Right.
the reports to match, and then once we approve the invoice on our level, we send it to the city saying
to
it's
me.
been reviewed, and then
Okay.
it's all good.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, comments? And I'd ask you please vote your machines. Thank you very much.
And I'll just remind the council members that they're still reviewing the list, we need those as soon as we can to make this guy start happening.
I'm sorry, what'd you say? I didn't hear you.
You're good.
Oh, okay.
You're good. You're good. District 5 is done.
Yeah.
But the rest, everybody, I just need the list so we can finalize,
Okay, yeah, because we want to get moving.
because I need that to get these guys
I know.
on the job.
And I'm calling you to move.
Did you hear that, though? 5 is done.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Just rub that in a little bit.
You're pretty good. I'm settled with Marlo, Marlon. I'm gonna send you an updated list. I'm gonna send you an updated list, though, just some of the stuff we talked about, but I'm good with him. It's really Dan and Brooke just finalizing those. I've already talked with Dee Dee and
them
Mr.
out.
David, so.
So when I went over the list
Call
with
them
you, we had some changes, some were over, some were under, so
Yeah.
once we get a final list, you're gonna email us a final
I'm gonna
copy.
I'm gonna reissue you updated sheets to every council member.
Okay.
And to you, the city, and of course, you got the whole package, so.
Right.
You'll get updated sheets once it's all settled.
And so obviously, whatever didn't make the list is just on sit and wait list if there's some appropriated funds that come available.
My hope is at the end of this, we'll have some money left over, and then
Sure.
we can basically say, what you wanna tackle.
Okay,
But
That's perfect.
This
Thanks.
is a big project.
And that's
It's
probably 3 years away.
Yeah. It's,
No,
yeah, I
it's
know,
a-
yeah, I know.
But we gotta get started.
Yep, we do.
So, otherwise, we'll never finish.
Yes, sir.
So, thank y'all.
All right.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, 3C.
Resolution number 24-111, a resolution awarding contract to NCMC LLC for the wastewater headworks upgrade and rehab project, and authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documentation in connection therewith.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Councilwoman DeeDee Johnson-Reed and Councilman Marlon Lewis. Happy to report that the Headworks bid came in budget. So ordering the screens early and then now proceeding with this second part of the same project should let us do it in the timely manner that we need to do it in to be ready for next March. Questions, comments?
So we're not doing alternate 2, we're just doing 1 and 3?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And that gets us in the money, lets us proceed. As we talked about in budget last week at our budget meeting, we have a ton of sewer challenges that I think we'll be able to, this came in, and it was very good that this came in the money, because that helps us with some of the other projects that we need to complete as well. So sewer's gonna be really active this coming budget year with projects, which is a good thing. It's needed. Anybody else? Then I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you very much. 3D.
Resolution number 24-112, a resolution approving the rating criteria for the American Rescue Plan One Block at a Time 1 project.
Okay, I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Representative Tim Ricky Gonsalas, Councilman Marlon Lewis. I'm gonna give you kind of a little quick overview, all right? We've gotten, which is good, we've gotten over 200 applications for One Block at a Time. One Block at a Time is a program with our ARPA money that myself and the council came up with, where we are renovating people's houses with certain criteria. It's not open to everybody. We got 200 applications. We extended the application time. We knew we can only do about 40 houses. We have $900,000. So when you multiply that out, divide that out, you can do probably 40 to 50 houses at the max, depending on what people have asked for. Of the 200 applications, we've never looked at any names. My staff has looked at it, and all we've done so far is weed out the ones that are ineligible. You have to own the house. It can't be a trailer. It has to be low to moderate income. You know, there are just some requirements.
Senior citizens?
Senior citizens, so some people just didn't make the cut. Now, we're not getting rid of we know our town, and we know that we have a lot of need in our town. We know that, 25% of our population live below the poverty line. If you count who are working poor, we've got 30-something% of our people who struggle. So we're not gonna get rid of the other applications. We are actually looking at other agencies that do some of these type of things to help and to pass those applications on to try to help more people. But for our program, we can only make, the selection with the amount of money that we have. So we came up with criteria. And this criteria, you get 1 point for each item of the criteria so that we can grade them. The next thing is, if you approve the system that we've come up with tonight, then my staff will grade them, and then we'll be able to pick the 40. Now, we're gonna pick more than 40 because some people, they're not gonna, and no offense, but they might not have a clear title. There could be some other issue. We could find that they're not the sole owner, and then someone's gonna pop up and say, I don't want you to do this, which could happen. So we are gonna pick some alternates as well, because we have to commit the money by the end of this year, and we have 2 years to spend it. So we don't have to finish spending it till 26, but by the end of this year, it has to all be committed. We don't wanna leave anybody behind or any of the money that we can spend behind. So we came up with a process, and that's what we're gonna discuss tonight, is to make sure that y'all agree with the process. Once we flesh it out like we do with everything else, then you approve that, that'll kick it off. Once we make the selections, we will send letters to the people that are not selected, telling that we still care and we're still gonna try to help, but they weren't selected for this program. And then we're gonna have a document that will come to you that these people need to sign that are selected, and we will have a meeting, probably at the slime and at that point, with the people who were selected, because they have to sign. And if they don't sign the agreements, then that's another reason that maybe we can't pick them and we have to go to an alternate. So it's gonna be a process, This is the first time government has stretched out to do some of the things that we're doing. I mean, if you think about it, sponsoring STEM, we have another grant for small disadvantaged small businesses. We have $450,000 to demo blighted properties, which we're still taking applications for that. We have a ton of things that we have done with some of our ARPA money that are very community oriented that nobody's done. So forgive us, because in a way, we are making this up as we go along. We've never seen government do some of these things, but it's all good for our community and it helps our people. So I'm gonna open up the floor for comments or questions, and we can kind of flesh out the criteria and make sure that everybody agrees. Yes, ma'am?
So it says total 55 that we can help.
Probably. And the reason that's if you approve. What we did was break the list down. Roofs were added to it. Roofs are expensive. We are going to take a portion of the money and hold it in contingency, because if you start on someone's roof and you get halfway through and you got some rotten structure, you can't leave them. You can't say, I'm not going to finish your roof. So we are going to put some money aside to make sure that we finish them. So in the layout, we said so many roofs, so many handicap ramps, so many people that want shutters and a combination of one of the other things that we can do, and we tried to break it down where we could service the most people. Now, if you change that list of kind of a budget, then we might serve less people.
No, I just meant that it looks like based on, after you guys did the calculation, it looks like we can help a total of 55 people.
If we
55 homes.
stick with the budget and stick with the plan.
Right.
And we will have $100 and something thousand in
In our
reserve
roof contingency
to
fund.
make sure that, just to make sure that we don't get into something that we can't finish.
Absolutely.
Because what we did, we said, okay, and some people just asked for a handicap ramp. So just to kind of go over that, we had 14 with just handicap ramps. We had 5 people who their houses would be painted. We had 5 homes that just wanted the operable shutters. We had 31 homes, because we had a whole bunch, that wanted roofs, which are very expensive. But if we stuck to those numbers and things worked out, we would help, you're right, 55, and we have $150,000 in contingency. Now, in addition to this, we're paying a professional, an architect, to look at each one that we select to help us with the scope of work. There could be some we select, and when we get there, this is just the person's application. What the definition of minor carpentry, or, I don't know. In other words, when we get there, if it's a house that we can't fix, unfortunately, or it's too far gone, we're going to have to move to an alternate. But that's where we're going to hire the architect to go out to each house and look and make sure that it's something we can accomplish. Yes, sir.
So, Mayor, you're saying,
No, I'm sorry.
no, you had to stand up first?
Yeah,
Go ahead, no, go ahead.
So my question is, this council approved $25,000 budget per home, correct?
In the range of.
Okay,
yes.
so if we have to go into escrow on a house, say of $10,000 above that 25, then we kind of exceed what we approved.
Well, that's why
then
it's coming to you again, because when we added roofs, we could. In other words, if we have a roof budgeted for an average house in a low-income area and the roof is $20,000, well, I mean, if we get halfway through and it's rotten, or we tear it off and it takes $30,000, that's why we have the contingency.
I get
But
that.
that's why we're bringing it for you to vote on this, because we are making a change by doing roofs.
Yeah, I get that, and I think it's a good idea to have the roof escrow, but I'm saying, once we come here and say we exceeded the 25, and our original ordinance says 25, are we allowed to exceed that number?
Yeah, because we're amending it by what we vote on now.
Okay.
And we will be able to.
Just want to make sure that we
You know,
can.
when we put this together, how many years ago? When was that?
Oh, wow, 2021?
Yeah, when we put the concept together at the very beginning,
2022.
it's
Right.
fleshed out a long way since then.
So my other question is, I've been getting calls of residents that want to know if they qualify or not. So if we have a certain number of people that did not qualify, are we gonna send a letter out to them telling them why they not
That's
qualify?
just what we talked about a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yes, every person will get a letter. If you're not selected, you get a letter. If you're selected, you get an invitation to come to a meeting.
Okay.
But certainly,
All right.
I'm not gonna leave anybody hanging.
No, they just want to know the notification process.
Gotcha.
So,
It's
yeah,
coming. They just need to give us a little time, because it all has to be graded, and we didn't know how many we would get, let alone 200. So
Right.
it just and my staff is not very large, right? So it's going to take a little while to go through the process.
I'm good.
Mayor, technically, we didn't approve anybody yet.
No, we don't have a name, we don't have anything, and until we grade the applications and make selections, we haven't approved or disapproved anybody yet, except the people that didn't meet the criteria.
Right, so we disapproved some people.
We did. They're in a pile. We haven't notified them. I don't know their names. I just know that what they asked for are those conditions we went through earlier. They don't meet them.
Right, but the 200 are all people that meet the criteria?
No, sir.
Okay,
Out of the
okay.
283 meet the
83
criteria.
meet the criteria,
Yes,
okay.
so quite a few of
I
them
didn't know
don't
if
meet
that
the
number
criteria.
came out
Yes,
tonight.
sir.
So, in the event we run across a house that somebody was approved, based on their criteria with the point system, we can get to the point and say, okay, this house costs $70,000, we can't do it.
Can't
That's
do
the
it.
kind of stuff
It
we're
could
gonna
happen.
run into, okay.
That's my, exactly.
And that's why we have an architect, and that's why we are gonna pick some alternates.
Right,
Because they could be, in other words, the definition of my house is in not bad shape, I just need this.
right.
That might be true, but it also might not. They might not understand the scope of, what it's gonna take. If you got a bunch of if you have a bunch of structural rod, if you have, something
lot.
if you're electrical shot, if you go and say we spend $25,000-$30,000 on your house and it still doesn't meet code, it's still not up to a standard of living, then we have to back off because that's way more than we would never accomplish, very many homes at all.
Yeah. And even organizations like USDA, I mean, if you can't, like, they give you a $10,000 grant, if you cannot solve all the health and safety issues with that
Right.
10,000, they will not give you the money. All the health and safety issues have to be resolved within that bucket of money that they give
Correct.
you.
I mean, this is some tough stuff. This is why government doesn't normally do these things. But if you're going to reach out and help, you have to be willing to take your licks too. But it's something that is new for us and it's needed. So,
Desperately needed.
anybody else? Yes, sir.
So, is there a list that's gonna come back to the council for?
Oh yeah,
approval?
every step. In other words, the first thing is to let us grade the papers. Once they're graded and we know, then a list is going to come back to the council of who's selected. A letter's going to go out to the people that aren't selected, and then with your help, we'll draft up some documents, and then we'll have a meeting at the Slyman for the people who are selected to sign the documents, and then at that point, nobody's still, I don't mean this in any kind of flippant way, but you're still not out of the woods, because then at that point, we'll take the list, and then the architect will go out, and so when you get selected, you're a possible candidate. I don't want to put any kind of false hope. What's that? Yeah, you're a finalist, okay? And then that's a good way to put it, and then once the architect goes out and checks and sees that you can do it, then you're one of the people we're going to help.
But
Yes,
the-
sir.
But when we talked about the other day, we didn't talk about names.
Nope.
We didn't talk about addresses.
Nope.
None of that. We just talked about what things are the priorities.
That's right.
Right.
So as much as possible, we want to make it an objective system.
Definitely.
Now, everybody qualifies as low income, because that's
Mm-hmm.
one of the criteria for everybody, and we
Right.
can't give away stuff except to needy people. And we're gonna have a 3-year holding period for these properties.
Yes, they
You
can't
know, if
turn
they
around
sell
and
them
use
early,
us
they
to
gotta
flip
rebate
it.
some of the
Yeah.
money. So we don't want people flipping stuff.
No.
We don't want it to be unreasonably burdensome, but, we'd like to benefit the people who are the applicants,
Right.
Yes.
and the people who own the property. So, good, okay, I understand now.
So, Mayor,
Yes, sir.
and I know we discussed this, when we're talking about meeting code, I know we had discussed roofs. A few of us were adamant about getting roofs repaired, because we realized
Well, you
that
weren't
was.
wrong, because we probably had 60 or 70 applicants apply for roofs. And if you ride around in some of our areas, there's a lot of blue tarps on the house. So you weren't wrong. Roofs are risky, which is why we weren't going to do them in the beginning, which is why we have a $150,000 contingency, because we know that they come with some risk. But those that advocated for the roofs really weren't wrong. I mean, it's the biggest need.
Right, and I was leaning more towards about being up to code. I know we talked about if a home wasn't up to code, we weren't gonna touch it, but if your roof needs repair and you're living and it's functional, because the question now is for the building inspector, because I think a lot of people don't realize if your power and your water and your gas is on, you are up to code. You've been grandfathered in. If you put an application in for your roof, and that's all you want, then as a city, we shouldn't be going inside and expect their electrical and none of that stuff.
I don't know if I agree with that. In other
We
words,
talked about that, though.
Yeah, but if the panel on the outside the building is a hazard, if it,
But so if it's a hazard, and I'm not a builder, I wouldn't dare go toe to toe with you with building. That's what you do. But if it's not exposed wiring and stuff like that, something that can go up the pipe and shock the roofer. But I'm talking about more or less when we talk, because we're talking about coming to the aid and sympathy of our community. If a roof is leaking and it's become a hazard, and these people fit the criteria, then we discussed about changing that roof, because that's all we're doing is changing the roof. And if they can get another agency, as we talk,
Right.
to get in there and do some inside remodeling, or what have you, then fine, be it. But I don't think we will meshing, if your electrical is not up to code.
No, but if we,
I just want to,
I know, but I just want to have this little safety factor, that when I send the architect over there and I send the building inspector over there, unless it's some there could be, I mean, I'm not gonna say that I'm not gonna sit here and try to think of every one, but if there was something that was just completely, and there could be, something that was completely dangerous.
Right.
Okay? Then we're gonna have to stop and see.
Well,
But they might have to fix that before we do the roof.
Right.
But that might be on them.
what if you go to the
you
house
could
and
have that.
spark shooting out the electrical
Yeah,
box
like I'm
and
saying,
we turn it around,
I
but
don't paint any pictures that, I can't back up,
Yeah.
so you're right for probably 99% of it, but I'm gonna have that little caveat that if they go and there's something that is just really dangerous, then, I'm not saying I wouldn't back off, but what that could be, I don't know.
That-
But
I mean,
I'm
and that
gonna
makes sense. I
leave myself, just that little cautionary window.
Gotcha. But, thank you.
Yeah, but you got it. Yes, sir.
But we're not doing home inspections,
No, we're
That's-
not.
Yeah.
We're not.
so we're not looking for trouble.
No, we're not.
That's-
At all.
We're not putting a blue ribbon on anybody's house and saying it doesn't have any problems.
Right.
And the work that's being done is warranted by the people who do it and not by us.
Right,
Yep, yep.
right.
That's where I was going, thank you.
So you're probably correct, sir. Yes, ma'am.
And one of the reasons why we were advocating to do the roofs is because one thing that we've learned over the last few years is that some of these agencies will not do any work in people's homes if the roof isn't good. So you can't go to Smile and say, hey, I want you to do weatherization on my house if your roof is bad.
Right.
Smile won't do the work. And, you can go to the USDA, it's a one-time deal, you might get 10,000, but usually it takes more than $10,000 to fix the roof. So if they can get the roof done by us, then they can take that 10,000 and do some inside work, because if it's been raining in your house, you got another problem once the roof is fixed.
Right.
You got probably flooring and stuff like that you have to deal with. So that's one of the reasons why we advocated for it. And I just want to say thank you for you and Jeff for looking
Absolutely.
into that and coming back and saying there's a way to do this, because we're going to help people who really need the help.
Yeah, man, I don't know if we did this publicly, but I want to thank you as well for just being, I don't want to say considerate, you were considerate, but you were flexible on that.
Yeah.
Because I know.
We didn't get this far together if we weren't flexible.
Right.
Okay, we've been through. If you think about it,
People need to know how tough those roofs were for the city to take on.
yeah, because my insurance company didn't like it, my attorney didn't like it. From the beginning, I modeled this after USDA and some
Right.
other agencies, and I said, well, nobody else is doing it, so we shouldn't. But
Well, thank you
no,
for changing your
look,
mind.
this is all for our community. So it's
Exactly.
Thanks for If we didn't have all of us up here, if we didn't have the relationship that we have, a lot of things wouldn't happen here in this town. So it's a two-way street.
And to the people who we weren't able to select, we're really, really sorry, because we know that you have roof problems as well. But we just don't have enough money to do all 83 of them.
Nope. Clico said they would step in and do some weatherization. We are meeting with other agencies, and we got a few left to meet with our pile of applications to see what they could help with. So, I mean, we're not giving up.
Right.
And when you stick your neck out and you open up something like this, I mean, you can't run from it. So we will continue to try to help as many people as we can.
So, Mayor, can we
Yes.
just make sure people know you get a point if you're a senior citizen, you get a point if you're disabled, you get a point for low and moderate income, and then that's how we're gonna prioritize people, and then we'll look at income after that.
Yes.
To see.
Well, income's part of
Income's
it.
part of it.
Right,
Yeah, 'cause
no, they just have to be low income, but then let's say you got 30
Because some
in
people have
there.
been some people have been knocked out of it in that pile that don't qualify because they made too much money.
Right, but no, I'm saying is that once we get all of those people, let's say you got 20 of them, that they all have the 3 points. Then you'll look at the income of that 20 to prioritize.
Yes,
Because we
yeah,
want the neediest people first.
correct,
Yeah.
correct. And we did talk about that.
Yes.
That's it. That's the last
Yes,
hurdle or the last.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the tiebreaker.
tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
just so people know,
No,
that's
that's
what
fine.
we're doing.
I meant to go over that, then we got into a big discussion, but
Yeah.
that's good. That's good. Thank you. Yes, sir. Mr. Councilman Broussard.
Thank you, Jeff, for being here. Thank you for stepping in. every once in a while and keeping us straight on the legal side. You're sitting here like a city councilman sometimes, so we appreciate your knowledge.
I don't have a button, though.
No, you don't
Me
have
neither, man.
that.
We neither. We need
You
to
don't have
rewire
that,
it.
but you keep us straight.
Keep us out of trouble.
And we thank you for the explanations you give us, and we're glad you're here.
Yes, ma'am.
Just a comment.
Sure.
I do want to commend us for evolving this far, because when we first started off with the one block at a time, we were gonna just do fluffy stuff, you know, a little painting and a little this and a little that. And, you know, if you're just gonna do that and the person's roof is caving in and you're gonna paint their house, that didn't make much sense. So we did push to fix the roof. And then if you had money, you know, do the painting and stuff,
Well,
but the roof was most
we moved to the
important.
most needy.
Yes,
That's
yes,
what we did. We
yes,
moved to the
did.
most needy. So.
And it went around in a circle, it really did. And we finally came to where it is right now. And I think it's a worthwhile project, and people are gonna really benefit from it.
Thank you.
Can we, oh, I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
Yeah, she hadn't spoken.
Yeah,
so
I'm sorry.
Councilwoman
I was just
Marcotte.
curious, once we approve this, how long should people wait until they get
It's
a
not
letter?
going to be fast. I mean, I'm
Okay.
not being ugly. We have 2 years to spend the money. It is
Right.
going to take a while. We are not going to go and start for what is it, 50 something now? We're not going to go start 55 projects at once. We can't. Okay, I mean, there's no way. So we are going to work through scheduling. I'm not going to schedule anything till after I get my report from the architect. In other
Okay.
words, some of them will be more needy. Some might be of expedience to do first. You know, I mean, I've been a contractor for 40-something years. That's my real job before I got this one. So we're going to assess them all once we know. When you don't know what your project is, what your scope of work is, you can't really set a priority yet, or a time, or a scope, or a time. So.
We have to bid, too.
Yeah, and then we have to bid it out, because remember, we are following all of our procurement as if it was any other one of our projects, because it is our project. So then we have advertisement time for bids, we have, contractor selection, we have a lot of steps.
Okay.
So it won't be quick, but.
Several months.
Yeah, definitely,
Okay.
definitely.
I just kind of want to put that
Yeah,
kind of time frame. Like, it's not going to be 1
I
month, it's going to
understand.
be a
Well,
while.
that'll be another reason. I want everybody in the room to hear the same thing. I want everybody in the room to sign their papers or tell me they're not, so that I can go to an alternate. So all that's gonna happen, and by that time, we will have, a better handle. Still not the architectural inspections, but a better handle on, this is what's coming.
Right.
But it is not fast. Government is not fast on a good day. And then with all of this kind of new stuff that we're doing, it's gonna take a little while.
Okay, thank you.
No, that's a good question. Yes, ma'am.
So since I will not be here once you do the implementation of this project, I'm just gonna give a suggestion.
Okay,
Can you
I'll
get
take it.
some, can you get some yard signs so it says 1 block at a time by the city of New Iberia to put in people's yard?
We had talked about that early on, that with all of these, we would actually do that, because I think that is important.
Yes. Okay.
Good.
I just think it's a great marketing
Yeah.
tool
I
to
mean, when I
show
need some,
government at work.
when I need some help, I didn't lose your phone number.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I'm all full of ideas.
But Mayor,
Yes, sir.
they have to understand that whatever project they decide they get, we pay the contractor. They don't get the money.
Oh, correct. That's with all of these. We have more we're talking about tonight.
Right.
With all of these, we handle all the money because we're responsible. And at the end of the day, when we get audited, when ARPA's over, at the end of 26, if we spent money wrong, we got to pay it back. So, yeah, definitely, it's all on us. Thank you for that, though.
Except for the warranty.
Yeah, warranties on.
Warranty is between the.
Warranties between the contractor and the homeowner.
Exactly. Okay.
Yep.
Now, Brooke, you get a chance to remind Dan, Brooke, and take care of me, Dee Dee, and David. Let them know that, we know we gone, us three. So, take care of you, Dan, make sure y'all let them know we was here to help.
Bring your name up, dude.
Thank you. Yeah, just say the
What
last,
about me?
Well, you too.
Okay.
That's it.
Just
I
messing
see
with you.
you so much.
just say the last council.
Yeah.
There you go. Anybody else? Then I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you all very much. Good discussion. 3E. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Thank y'all.
Resolution number 24-113, a resolution authorizing a second American Rescue Plan Act Business Development Grant application period.
We have a good problem that we don't have enough. We got applications, and some people didn't qualify for that as well, so we can actually ask for a few more. So with that, I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas and Councilman Marlon Lewis. Is there any discussion on this item?
So how much time?
I'd like to
Are we gonna
extend
get
it for 2 more weeks. I'd like to put it back out there for 2 weeks. I don't want to do it too long because we got so much work to do. I need my staff to start on the work because it's a lot. I mean, we're gonna do one block at a time and grade them first. And then I don't think the business development grants, what we looked at so far and saw people that would qualify, really didn't take that long.
Okay.
So those are not, but I'd like to say 2 more weeks because we'll be working on one block at a time. We could wrap that up and then we could start on this.
So
What's the
are there any, do we need to review the qualifications for that? I mean, is it too stringent? Is there something we might need to?
No, they fit well. I
Okay.
don't think that's the problem. We just didn't get enough applications that met the criteria.
Okay. Okay.
So
Yes, sir.
how much room do, we're looking at, do we have to stop at a certain number of businesses, or we got some room to go and proceed a few businesses out there? And I don't wanna go get 10
No.
and say,
We could do pretty many more. 12 more, maybe? Yeah, I think we could have 12 more businesses.
About 12 more.
So that probably means 20-something. I'm not being cocky, that's the way it works. That probably means 20 need to apply to end up at 10 or 12.
so we can go get a few more.
Yeah, man, real quick, I'm kind of in agreement with Dee Dee to read, Councilwoman Johnson, to at least review. We don't have to renew, just to make sure that we're not missing something, because a lot of people see applications like that. They won't even turn in one because they think they don't fit the criteria, because it might be one thing that we can,
Tweak.
adjust. Now,
Yeah,
it may not be anything that we can adjust. Laney's saying, no, it's pretty tight.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
ignore
saying,
Laney.
and Laney, I'm saying, bend don't break. So
Right.
Yeah. But we had fleshed those out.
we did, we flushed
pretty
it.
good.
I know,
The
but-
public don't know how much we flush out
Don't?
to get everybody
Okay,
an
I'm going
opportunity.
with Madam
I'll
Clerk is
try.
gonna review our criteria.
Thank you.
You have to be in the city limits. You have to be a small business, have 15 or less
Yeah.
employees?
15, I think.
You have to be in a qualified census tract or
Or
I like that word.
have be able to prove decreased revenue due to COVID. And you have to have an occupational license in the city,
yeah.
are the main.
And if you
And if you don't have
And if
it,
you don't have one, I corrected that by saying, if I pick you, get over here and get one. And so we can correct that
And
issue.
you gotta be in business before a certain
Oh,
date.
and
that's
before date.
May 5th of '23.
So we had some applications that didn't meet the time requirement. We had some applications that did not attach proof of loss.
but if they're in the census tract, they don't have to have proof.
Right, but we have some that are not, and many of the
Oh,
people that applied
okay,
were not,
okay.
because it's an R thing.
Yes.
I had made it an and, okay, you remember, but
Right,
we.
Yeah, we don't wanna go down that road
loosened
again.
it up. We're not going down the road again. That took an
no,
hour.
that and
But
was
we
bad.
loosened, we killed that puppy. But we loosened it up, okay? So because of that, we still had some people that, that they weren't in the census tract and they couldn't show loss. They didn't have proof of loss. So those got left out.
And I don't know how we can make it looser, because
No, that's not good.
it's
No,
gotta
but that was
be,
good to review.
I keep coming back to, it's gotta be needy, because that's one of our
I have a
constitutional requirements, and, it's gotta be citizens, residents, and it's gotta be owners and all that kind of stuff. So I think we've gone about as far as we can, and I can't believe that there aren't more people out there.
I had an idea.
Who need?
We did this already.
I think the clerk, Madam Clerk, you had a few more?
Yes.
We found the list.
You just have to be the owner of the business, at least 18, registered and operate. You have to be an independent business, not part of a franchise.
Correct.
You have to be a brick and mortar facility. And you must agree to provide services to some low to moderate income individuals.
Or be a low to moderate income individual.
Correct.
Because that's the other
Right.
R.
Okay, let's not open that one up again, but you're right.
Yeah, okay, so, it just seems like maybe we could publish them again. Somehow we need to get the word out again, because
Yeah.
I think,
Well, that's what we're gonna do.
yeah,
You know,
we
we're
need to
gonna-
make sure that they're clear on the R, that it's an R, it's not an and, so that we might get some more people come in and apply.
Yeah. So that's the plan, if you approve this, to put it all out there again for a couple of weeks.
Okay, and,
You had the floor next.
can we get it on some radio stations or something?
Sound like another video too.
A video,
And just,
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
And then city.
Marlon is the video king.
okay, all right. Good, good. Yes, sir. You had your hand up.
so Jeff, in response to your comment, though, I approached several businesses during the COVID, and they claimed to me that they didn't lose money during COVID. And that's why they said they
Some
wouldn't
did.
fill it out. So, it's very difficult to go grab them when you approach saying, look, Ricky, I didn't lose
Some
money.
businesses didn't. Some businesses profited during
No,
COVID.
exactly right. Our sales tax were up during COVID, remember?
Yeah, because we didn't shut everything down,
Exactly, so.
you know.
Yeah,
That was the hurdle I'm facing.
But people in Marlon's business lost money.
No, that's exactly
Yeah,
so.
yeah, some did.
Some did.
But we
Yeah.
tried to keep an
Mostly
opportunity
the
for,
service industry.
yeah. We kept an opportunity for business to be open.
yeah, and there was some money coming through.
Correct.
You know, for
Yeah.
benefits and,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it was really kind of eye-opening when you said, I didn't lose no money, Ricky. I really can't apply. So, good for you, but just,
We were the only city, I was the only mayor who filed a written plan to Governor Edwards, because he told me that. And I filed a written plan to keep our businesses open. And then he called me, and I said, okay, I guess I can do it. He says, no, I'm not approving it. I said, well, you didn't deny it. And so he says, no, I'm not approving it or denying it. I'm just telling you the only mayor who sent me a written plan. So I heard him, I got off the phone, and before I got off, I said, but I'm gonna take that as a yes, and I hung up the phone. So, you do what you gotta do. But, anyway. Yes, ma'am.
So how many applicants actually were approved or met criteria, I should say? Just
What's
10?
that? Yeah, 11 or 12.
11?
how many we had?
20, yeah, 26. 20, I was gonna say 25, 26.
Would we divide the money between the ones that were approved if we don't get more
Yeah, I would like
applicants?
to have one more chance to help more people,
Okay,
okay? But we're gonna extend it for 2 weeks, and if the people that apply don't meet the criteria, then that's an option.
Okay.
But again, my whole goal is to help as many people as we can.
Right.
None of this is gonna make people rich, none of this
Right.
is gonna totally change your life, but it could help, so let's help as many as we can. But we had already thought of that, then in 2 more weeks, if we don't have, enough to spend all the money, then maybe, at that point, because we have to get moving, maybe each one gets $500 more or whatever, we'll do the
Right.
math and figure that out.
okay,
So that is a good idea, but let's see if we can get, more applicants.
okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Okay, Chap.
My good Christian friends might get mad with me, but do nightclubs, do they?
True.
Because
Because they had to close, yep, they shut
They had to shut
down.
down.
That's a legitimate business. It's
They
a brick
paid
and
some
mortar,
taxes.
Yes, yeah.
and it's brick and mortar.
And it's brick and, that's what made me think it's brick and mortar.
If they meet the criteria,
I mean, we give licenses to them.
yeah,
to
we
operate.
give,
Right.
and we take their taxes
Right.
when they're not, all in cash and they're paying taxes.
That's the reason why I didn't want to bring it up, because,
Hey, look, I am what I am.
Yeah, that's the problem. They got to provide a tax return.
well, they got it, they gonna,
Yeah.
They don't show no cash.
give them a chance, is
Yeah,
what
no,
I'm saying.
absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
Criteria is criteria.
And criteria is criteria, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Is what it is.
It's a good question, I think.
Yeah.
Mayor, so
Yes,
Laney,
sir.
can you give us a date instead of just say 2 weeks?
Okay, we need a couple of days to put it back out there. So you want to do 2 weeks from Monday? Yeah, it doesn't have to be 2 weeks from tonight.
No, yeah.
'Cause tomorrow I'm going to be,
Yeah.
barking
This-
out something else.
Give yourself time, Laney.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
The 7th, October 7th.
Okay.
October 7th?
Good.
Thank you.
And I'm sure you'll send us an email.
Oh, yeah.
If Laney could share another link, that way we can share with businesses.
Okay.
Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
A good one.
and the people who are listening need to realize that the need, that the business has is gonna be provided by the city. We're gonna pay for whatever the
Correct.
order is.
Yes, ma'am. Correct. If they would need.
Enhance
Not
their
whatever.
business.
Yeah, it's not whatever. We
Right.
have to approve it. But it's just not whatever. But yeah, if it's a piece of equipment, let's just use a piece of equipment.
Yeah, that's
So
the
it's a
easy
piece of equipment. We will take the bids. We will procure the piece of equipment with our normal procedures, because if not, we're gonna get in trouble.
Right.
But yeah, no one gets, cash, a check, nothing like that. Okay. All done talking? Then please vote your machines. Hey, look, talking's our weapon. That's what we do. All right, 3F.
Resolution number 24-114, a resolution approving a 2% general increase for municipal classified employees to become effective November 1st, 2024.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Councilman Dan Dahl on the trigger. And Councilman David Broussard. This is the 2% by law that we give our civil service employees, all our employees, every year.
Except the council.
Yes, ma'am, except the council. We had that discussion recently.
Just gotta,
You just had to put that in there.
I had to put it in there.
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
But that's okay, because I'm not bringing it up again.
Okay, but point taken. Any discussion on this item? Which is something we do every year, but any discussion on this item? None? Then please vote your machines. Thank you very much. That was fun. Item 4A.
Introduction of special ordinance number 2024-2025-01, budget adoption ordinance, and ordinance adopting the budget for the city of New Iberia for the fiscal year ending October 31st, 2025, and setting for public hearing on October 1st, 2024.
Okay, I need a motion.
So move.
Second.
Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas. Boy, that was a close, I don't know. Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte. This is our budget, and we had a budget meeting and reviewed all of the budget, and our finance director, Babette, is in the back. She can come up.
Look how small
Have
the
a
budget is.
couple of items.
Don't be wish, right?
Had a couple of budget amendments that one example was the GIS system that we didn't have in, and now we do, because that will be utilized by quite a few of our departments. It's something we wanted. It just inadvertently, just didn't get in the budget. So that was one of them, and we've had some other ones.
Yeah, and I'll be presenting, it's just some minor changes to what was originally discussed last week, and I'll be sending all that out to y'all as soon as I get that.
Yes, ma'am.
So, how many days of operating funds are we gonna have available based on this budget?
That, I'd have to check, but we should be good on
See,
that.
normally the auditors figure that. We normally don't ever get that during budget. We get it when they come in audit.
Okay,
And that's kind of an audit thing. I mean, that's something big, something they're big on.
I'm just asking the questions I would be asking them.
Yes. Yeah, I
I'm
understand.
not gonna be there to ask.
Well, you can come. Well, I'll invite you.
Send it to me, I'll ask them.
Yeah. Just send them to one of us, I'll ask them for you.
Okay, and then the second question, this is not for you, Babette, this is for the mayor. Would
You might
you
have to help
please
me.
consider publishing our budget, even if it's just this, on the city's website, so people can take a look, so that they don't have to do a public records request? Because people want to know, and that we don't have anything to hide.
No, we're
It's full
transparent. I mean,
transparency.
we're a public body. People can ask for anything they want, so.
Yeah, so just,
Okay.
we have a website. It would be great if we could publish the, I don't know, I say this almost every year, but I just wanted to say it one last time.
Good.
Might happen.
Good. And I hope that our days are down. In other words, having
Yeah.
300, having a year of days, we're not a bank. We're not here to build up a ton of money. We're here to provide services.
Right.
Over the last 2 years, that number has come down. At one time, we had 300 and something days that we could operate on. We're not a bank. We're not supposed to keep all that. It's supposed to go to services. We're a service business. So that number has been shrinking, and that's not a bad thing.
Nope.
It's because we're putting the money that government can't spend anything it didn't take from somebody else. Okay? So we're putting the money back where it goes, back to the people. So it's not a bad thing that number shrinks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sure. Anybody else? And I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you very much.
Mr. Jeff, you missed all that good stuff we had.
Well, but you added to the budget the charge that I would have
Yeah, we would
put
have
on
lost
my
money.
bill for attending that meeting.
We would have lost money. As he says, he's coin operated, so we'd have had to pay. No, the city attorney never goes to the
I never
budget
go to
meeting.
those
No.
because when you quit putting the coins in,
Yeah, you got to go somewhere
if
else.
that day comes, I'll quit working, so.
Yeah.
Item 4B.
introduction of special ordinance number 2023-2024-33, and ordinance amending the budget to adjust within 5% for fiscal year 2023-2024, and setting for public hearing on October 1st, 2024.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Marlon Lewis and Councilwoman Deidre Ledbetter. Thank you. Any discussion on this? This happens every year, that as we're spending our money toward the end of the year, we have to do a projection, which sometimes we have to amend a little bit, but it's the trick is to get within 5% by the time, the budget's done. Yes, ma'am, I see you. Go. This is your last budget cycle, so get it out your system.
So, I know we've talked a lot about the Pepperplex, and we're spending a lot of money on the Pepperplex. We want to make it our star
Yes.
park. I just want us to make sure that we are paying attention to how much we spend, and then we are looking at trying to figure out how we break even.
Yes.
Because it's a lot of money going into it, and so we've got to get to a point where we're starting to make some money, so we can break even and then maybe even get profit in the end, because it's a lot of money on a park, and we just need to be able to show the community that it was a good investment.
Yeah, and it's not only the park, but it's when you host it, Councilwoman Marcotte, the tournaments will come, I promise you. And she has been a big advocate of, when's it gonna get moving, and I understand that. When the tournaments start and we get, the fuel fill-ups, the restaurants, the taxes that come from all of the other things, the other communities that visit us, the people from out of town that stay in our hotels, all of that's going to get factored in.
Right.
And that was part when we made the decision to do this.
Right.
We are not finished the engine that we need to build because we thought we would have got the 1.5 million from the state in January, and it's September. And then we were blessed to get another million, but then they decided to combine it together. And we are constantly every week on the phone or emailing our reviewer and saying we need that 2.5 million because we need to finish the park. The big tournament play will start, and then we actually have 2 of them booked, and that's a good thing. And I can't wait. Like I said, the only other person up here who is as antsy as me is Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte, because she understands travel ball. She got a little superstar that goes all over the place. So she's in that world. As soon as we can get them started, believe me, I want to, because it is going to bring in revenue. We didn't do it to make a profit, but we plan on breaking even at least. Right. And then we have changed the way, since Babette's been here, y'all saw that in the budget, we changed some of the ways it's categorized, and that helped greatly. That let us free up quite a lot. Hundreds, $500,000 got freed up. Excellent. So it's not as cumbersome or as expensive as it was, because it was set up as an enterprise fund, as if it was going to make this huge profit. Well, when Babette saw that, she was like, that's not what we need to do. It's a park. Mm-hmm. So with the goal of breaking even, she greatly helped us before we hosted a tournament by changing that category. But the combination of that, of getting the 2.5 million, of finishing the park, I really think we're going to get there. But again, when we get there, we're going to have to figure out, and I've already been looking at that, by looking at the taxes. I'm going to point out just a few businesses, looking at the hotels, looking at the restaurants that are right around there, looking at those taxes. I've already been charting those so that when tournaments start, when things start happening, we might not be bulletproof of an assessment, but it will be a good barometer to say, look at how these things picked up. Look at how more taxes came in. We're going to add that to the pile of revenue.
Okay.
So we can get there.
Yeah, I just want the citizens to realize that it's a good investment.
Yeah,
so they need to see us at least break even on this in the future.
Okay. Point well taken. I think you had your hand up next.
Just on a comment, I went out this weekend to the opening of the soccer in cross country, and they had over 1,500 people out there. Yeah. And I've talked and walked and talked to a bunch of people, and they were all impressed and looking forward to the future. They do have some complaints, like on parking, and I told them that it's all getting addressed. Yeah. It's all gonna get addressed. But on Dee Dee's point, I think that, the investment we originally made and what we're gonna make through capital outlay, I don't see any way where we're gonna recoup that initial investment. I don't think that a facility like this, and talking to Bruce Orr in Youngsville, that we fully intend to think we can make a profit with it. I think it's all about the quality of life and the outside factors that were affecting around the facility. So for me to look up here and look at a budget in 3 years and say the Pepperplex made a profit, I don't see that. I see us, coming close and managing our money. But what I do see is that allowing businesses and constituents to enhance their businesses based on our investment. And that's what I look forward to. But I think from the input I'm seeing from the individuals that were out there, they are very pleased with what they see so far. And all see that, there's room for improvement, and we all agree on that. But I think we're heading in the right direction, and I agree with the mayor, we're not there yet. And I think we just need to put our foot on the gas and continue to motion forward.
As soon as I can get the funds, believe me, I will, and quality of life has a value as well.
That's right.
When you stop citizens from leaving your community because you have some amenities that you didn't have before, that might be worth more money than anything. I'm gonna go around and let everybody go once, and then I'll
Okay.
come back to you. You had your hand up next,
Yeah.
Councilman Dan Doyle, and then I'll call on you.
I think where we're lucky too, we were able to get some of our taxpayer monies back from Baton Rouge for recreation. Sometimes it's hard to do.
Oh, it has been very
We got
challenging.
quite a few millions that came through the Pepperplex that we didn't have to use our local funding, even though we used a lot.
Yeah.
And the way they're setting up the Pepperplex is making our maintenance less.
It will.
So I think at the end of the day, it's something that the citizens deserve.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
is.
they really do. And I think at the end of the day, if it just cost us a little bit, we did well.
Yeah.
But the thing is that doing it right, they're not patching it. We're doing it where it's gonna be there for a while, and the maintenance won't be there. Because that's, you can build anything, but if you can't maintain it, you just will not have it. And I think it's taking time, but I think we are doing it right, and I think the city is in. The city was never in the Pepperplex.
No,
I'm gonna tell you.
it wasn't a city
Way
organization.
back when my district had Evangeline, and when they shut it down, I grabbed a couple million to start this, but the city never bought into it. The parish never bought into it, and now the city bought into it, and that's a whole difference than before. People need to have the patience because they don't understand how far it came and how far it can go.
It's gonna go.
And so I appreciate it, and it's something that, I don't do sports, but when they lost Evangeline and I fought a lot to start this, it's my biggest thing I would like to see finished. Everything I did in this council for 25 years is that, because it's about the kids. It's about the family. I mean, you go out there, like he said this weekend, go anytime, soccer, whatever, it's amazing what you can see, and just everybody's having a great time. So I appreciate the mayor putting the attention and the council putting the money towards this, because it hasn't been done ever up here. So thank you.
And I'm calling everybody else, but remember, we've also spent millions in our parks.
Yeah.
Because that is another piece of the puzzle of quality of life and of amenities for our citizens. We took this on, but we did not neglect our parks. We have spent millions that we've been very lucky to get, and most of it came from the state along the way in our major parks.
Great.
And building new parks. I mean, I think this council has been wonderful about recreation opportunities and quality of life for our citizens. Anyway, who is next? Councilman Broussard.
It is in District 3, which I'm proud of.
Yep.
I say it every meeting. What's gonna help that park the most is the road in the back. Get the people out of there.
It's coming.
We want a lot of people in there. I hope it's being built for at least the end of next season or so.
It should be.
And Ruby Tuesdays, the empty building. Let's get somebody in there if we can before it gets too old, you know what I mean?
If I
Looking
could
for
snap my
filling up-
finger, that's not a
filling up.
government function, but I actually am meeting with some developers. There's actually a developer who's looking at property very, very near to that.
Yeah,
There's somebody looking at that as well. So, I mean, there's no promises, and that's not really a government thing. We can assist.
We've been-
But I'd like to get somebody in there myself.
we've been lucky to fill up some of these white elephants that we have even along Amador and all, so we've been really lucky. And that road will
Coming.
help the Pepperplex a
coming.
lot. They asked from the beginning, way in the back, way in the beginning.
Well, we just had to
Tricomo
get-
cornered
we
me,
just had to
man,
get
and cornered
creative.
me and cornered me.
The roads they wanted were $1 million, and we found a way to do, or millions, and we found a way to do it much cheaper.
Even that,
It's coming.
at Veterans, they were on my time so hard. We had Miss Curry, not one dime. Mr. Mayor, I want to compliment you for getting them off my back and building such a nice place
Well,
at the Veterans with the Liberty Bell. I know some other people put money in, but you guided them in the right direction, and we thank you a lot for that.
we did that together.
Man, all I wanted to piggyback on the park, and I know it's budget, Ms. Babette. So,
Oh, no, that's fine.
But my thing is, I just, owning a barbershop, and we all got friends and people. We talked to how many people left New Iberia, believe it or not, for the parks. First thing come out their mouth when they talk about Youngsville and Broussard. Did y'all see that nice park? And they moved there because quality of life, And so I don't think we'll ever catch up as fast as they built up over there. But I think we have a chance to improve our quality of life in parks and recreation goals, and at least be able to say, hey, we got something nice over here too. And then, man, we don't talk about Richard Romero enough. Didn't he help develop Broussard or Youngsville? Or
Got him from Broussard.
we got
He
Richard
ran the
Romero
park.
over there, and so
Park in
we
Broussard.
first class on that.
Yep.
I'm done.
We getting
Budget. Sorry.
I know. And all this is part of us getting within 5%. But yes, ma'am. Then I'll come back to you.
So I
We
would
got to
like
deviate every once in a while.
I would like to see some small tournaments starting
Yes,
to be
ma'am.
hosted like a month ago, really and truly, because we are ready. I've been to other parks that
getting
are
there.
nowhere near where we're at.
Once our lights up, and remember, we need the lights on one field, and we need a couple of other things. We've got some temporary fencing coming in. There are a few things we need, but we're working on it.
No, there's definitely ways to work around that, though. The lighting, you just tell the director, hey, you have to stop having games at this time, whenever the sun starts to set. But we played in the dark over there, actually, and it was okay. But, so I think we are ready to start hosting little tournaments there. Not quick enough.
I know, man. I know.
And why is your nickname Coach? You said you're not involved in sports.
I don't know.
Because he called
I threw me for a loop when you said that. I'm like, you call him Coach all the time.
Yeah, everybody
calls
calls
me
me coach. I
Okay. Random.
Yeah, it is crazy. It is crazy.
With me, I'm like, you call him Coach all the time.
Another mystery, Brooke.
I'm glad that's all they call me.
Yeah. That's really not all they call him, but that's for another day.
Gotcha. I'm done.
Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am. Back to you.
Okay, I just want to say that it is absolutely possible for us to eventually make a profit on this park, because in my old life in Atlanta, I actually ran Redan Park, which was a travel ball park. My kids played travel ball too. And we ended with a profit every year. We hosted tournaments. We had a lot of money coming in through concessions. I mean, so there's ways to make money with that park. If you're going to make an investment like that, you want to try and get it to a point where it can generate some funds, or at least take care of itself.
Yeah.
So that the city doesn't have to create funds to maintain it.
Agreed.
It can at least create enough money to maintain it and keep everything nice and pretty. So that's all I'm saying. It's just, I want people to be able to say back, 10 years from now, man, Freddie and that council made a good investment, because look at what this park has done for this area. That's all.
Agreed. And I think we're all on the same page. We just had different levels of hurry and get it done. and I'm over here saying I need the money to do it. So, but we getting there. And thank y'all for that. At least y'all got passion, and we're not up here, wasting our time, because we're not. Thank y'all. So we're back to 5%. That's what started all of this. So is there any other comments on us adjusting our budget to be within 5%, or anything else y'all want to talk about? All good? Vote your machines. Thank you very much.
And the amendments are coming later. You're gonna send it to us.
Yes.
Yeah, the changes, yeah.
4C.
Introduction of special ordinance number 2023-2024-34, an ordinance amending the budget to reflect operating transfers as required by the auditors and setting for public hearing on October 1st, 2024.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Marlon Lewis and a second by Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas. These are some more of our auditor required adjustments. Yes, ma'am.
I do have one change on that. If you
Okay.
look at the debt service fund, it shows a current budget of the 322,394. Actually, that should be 0, and the adjusted budget should be the 322,394.
Okay.
Yeah, I had that circled. I was going to ask you that. Perfect.
Good. Any other questions or comments? Everybody's good? Then please vote your machines. Thank you. We made up for that long discussion we had on the last side. Let's see, 4D.
Introduction of special ordinance number 2023-2024-35, an ordinance amending the budget to reflect encumbrance carryovers from fiscal year 2023-2024 budget, and setting for public hearing on October 1st, 2024.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Motion.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas, and second by Councilwoman DeeDee Johnson-Reed. Is there any discussion on this item?
I do have one
ma'am.
thing also on this, sorry about that. On the wastewater fund, we can scratch that out of this ordinance. It's included in the previous one for the 5%.
Okay, so you just adjusted it in the previous, okay.
Right.
Questions or comments? Am I good? Then I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you, Bobby,
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Okay, now we move to item 5A.
Resolution number 24-115, a resolution declaring the attached list of buildings in a dilapidated and dangerous condition, and to set date for public hearing.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas, and second by Councilman Marlon Lewis. And, Matt? Coming up?
Now we are into the nitty-gritty of
Yes, we
setting
are.
the hearing for this first batch. So this is what they look like as of this morning, 1120 St. Jude. Buena Vista, 1111. Or 111, sorry.
And Buena Vista is two different addresses,
Yeah,
because it's,
107.
the mobile home has an address at 107, and the land has an address at 111, so.
Okay.
but
Our
it's
next one, 933 Week Street, needs to be taken out. Yeah, now we go to 1737 Jennifer.
Yes, yep. That's what you see here.
Oh, my goodness.
Those people will be real happy that live next to it.
Definitely.
Yep.
We were working on some way to have somebody in the community replace it, but no luck. So,
It's definitely not a trailer we can fix.
No.
yeah. This is 239 Roger, which has a camper on the lot still, as well as the mobile home. So,
That's Little Brooklyn?
yes. Yeah. And here's the gym of the
Yay.
batch.
That's
7:04 a.m.
next Miss Brown?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
What happened to the little critters?
I don't know. She didn't call me saying that
Yeah.
there was anything that came out of there.
Maybe the critters were okay.
Yeah. But she was very, very happy, very happy. I mean, because I think before we went out there, some of the bricks had literally started
Oh,
to fall. They had to go put up a structure.
We went and braced it. Okay?
Yeah.
As an emergency, Matt and I talked about it, talked about how we would go do it, got Public Works to go out there and brace that brick wall.
Yeah.
And a portion of it fell, but the braces did exactly what they're supposed to. It
Yep.
kept it off of the neighbor's house.
They
That was
did.
that was as per our bid awarded demolition contractor. He mentioned might
Want to go and brace that thing up.
Yeah.
And well, thank goodness we did.
Yeah. So needless
sir.
to say, people very
Jeff.
excited.
Yeah, I had somebody ask me, and I told them I thought I agreed, but if the city, if you move a trailer, your grandfather, then you can put it on a trailer in that location, is that correct?
You have a 6 months window.
Okay, and I thought so. But they said if you demo that trailer, are they still qualified to put a trailer back on it once they demo it? I said, I wouldn't think so, but I could've been wrong. Or it's still, that
You-
60 days is still good? Or
Six
I
months.
mean?
I think you still have 6
Yeah.
months.
6 months. I don't care how it gets out
Yeah,
of
I
there.
think you still
I'm
have 6
asking,
months.
I
In other
didn't
words,
think
if
so.
you sell a trailer.
I know.
Yeah.
Somebody
you would-
asked me
you
and
would-
I really couldn't give them a clear
No,
answer.
you would
Yeah.
still, it would
Yeah,
fall
6
within that.
months.
You have a 6-month window. Okay, whether that you sell a
The city
trailer.
spent money demoing it. And then, you know,
I
they
know
got
what
to
he's
clear.
saying.
Yeah, they have to,
It seems like you would have to redeem the property, somebody else would have to redeem.
Well, I mean,
our
we're
own
gonna add it
property.
to the taxes.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
There's
add it
gonna
to
be
the
some
taxes.
consequences.
Yeah, there's
but-
consequences.
but
You just have
that's-
to pay the taxes of the demo.
Yeah,
The fee of the demo and taxes.
okay.
yeah,
It's not a freebie, but it's
I
still,
just
it
wanna
still
ask
could
them
be done.
correctly.
Right, it's not a freebie, but it still could be done.
but
Okay.
we don't have an exception
Okay.
Right.
if the trailers were moved because of demolition.
The question was presented to me, well, the city's paying a demo, then they'll disqualify them from putting a trailer in, you know, I said, look, that's pretty a gray area, I'm gonna have to really do
Well,
it.
we haven't done that.
Okay,
Yeah.
And that would have to be in that ordinance that deals with replacing trailers.
okay, I'm good.
You have to put that one on a grass cut in a few months.
Well, we might have to, you never know.
Well, it don't have a fence in between it, huh?
No,
I
there's
would
no
encourage the
fence.
family to keep it up,
Yeah.
cut it.
Well, yeah, I'll have to find
I
out
know
who
she-
cuts
I know
her
she-
grass,
I know
because
she-
she's
I know
90,
she- yeah,
what,
she has a
93 or
son and-
something?
and
Yeah.
grandchildren.
If
That's-
you're grateful, start your mower.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually a property where they
Yeah.
could, you know, in the future, maybe take it over.
Yeah.
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 She has a
It's
very
not
nice
that much
home.
bigger, and it's gonna make her yard, her home look better.
Yeah,
you know.
Yes.
I'll,
So
I'll
she
mention
can't
it to
mow it.
him.
She won't have the mildew on the house with that sun.
Right, I
Yeah.
was saying that too. I said,
Yeah.
that house called mildew on that lady house, called mildew
Yeah.
on
It's
that.
all gone.
And the critters moved on.
They went to that.
Yeah, I don't know where they went.
Walking down the
but-
street, but
Yeah, yeah,
let's hope they don't go to the park.
that's it. Any other discussion on these?
But about the trailers and, I know you say 6 months after it's demolished. You can
It's
put
a 6-month window if you sell a trailer, if you haul a trailer off,
Right.
if you
You got a
demolish a
6 month-
trailer. You have 6 months,
to put another trailer
put in
back.
another one, or trailers can't go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I know this council hadn't been interested in bringing trailers back into the city. I realize that. But I did talk to, a couple of people on the council, and they kinda agreed that this 6 months might have been a little too long. I mean, too short. And maybe giving them a year to get a trailer back on that lot. And I'm just saying, cause I mentioned to a couple of people, and they say they would look at even doing that year, you know. But that'd be it after that, cause I mean, 6 months, you gotta be on the ball to get a new a new unit there. You gotta be on the ball. You know, so I hope before I leave, I hope we revisit that and give people at least a year, I'm sorry, no longer than a year, to put another unit there. Man, when you're trying to buy a house, build a building, whatever, a year pass fast. It's not like sitting home doing nothing a year. So, you know, for me, that'll be a small victory for my community and the people who have to live in mobile homes, or not have to, but choose to live in mobile homes. I mean, another 6 months to me wouldn't hurt.
So, Mr. Mayor,
Yeah, are you finished?
Yes. I almost wasn't, because
Yeah, we, I know,
her
but
taking my
I'm-
floor, but that's
I know.
okay, I'm finished.
I'm the traffic
I'm
cop.
sorry.
Are you sure? All right. Yes, ma'am.
So, I mean, I wasn't here when they put this little law, ordinance in place, but we have a lot of very small lots in New Iberia that seem like, you know, that the only thing you could put on there is a trailer. I mean, so it's like, what?
No, I'm just,
Oh, I mean, I guess I don't know, with all the laws now with, you gotta have a certain amount of feet between this and the next house and all of that. Yeah, it feels like we're gonna have a bunch of vacant lots that we can't do anything with because they're too small to put anything except for a mobile home on it. So I don't know what the answer is. I just wonder, maybe we could have a discussion about it. I don't know that the answer is to change the ordinance. I don't know what the answer is. I wasn't here when the discussion happened. So I don't know why they did what they did. Because when I lived here, everybody, you know, mobile homes were prevalent. I mean, people had them and people used them and that's where they live. But it would be nice to just understand, if you guys know, what was the reason we decided to move forward with this, and possibly have a discussion on, so what's the solution for these people with these small lots?
Modular homes.
Yeah.
If you really, because we've had a few successes with that. A modular home is built to a standard of normal construction. It's not a frame with wheels. It meets all the wind loads. It meets all the codes. It's constructed as you would construct a house on a slab or a house on piers.
So when you talk about
But
modular
it's not a
homes,
trailer. In other words, some trailer manufacturers say, oh, we sell modular homes, and they're trailers. Modular homes are different. They're engineered. There is a different set of codes for a modular home than a trailer. Those codes are comparable with building a house.
well,
So
maybe we
it's,
could, maybe what,
And for a while, we had a modular home builder at the old Martin Mills in St. Martinville, and we were popping those up. Probably.
They have one at the airbase too.
Yes, and then we have one at the airbase. So there are still some modular home manufacturers
there's
that
one
meet
in
this
Lafayette,
code. Right.
yeah.
So that is a viable alternative. you
well, maybe
know?
what we can do is, because some people don't even know what a modular home, what you mean when you say that versus a trailer.
Right.
Maybe part of the discussion, we can put up on the screen the difference between the two, so that people can understand what you can use those lots for.
Right.
And how this might be an alternative to the trailer. And I don't know how much they cost or anything like that, but I feel like we probably need to address this, even if it's just a discussion, not to change anything, but to have a better understanding,
Okay.
by all of us.
Okay.
Because there are people in my community, they could probably afford a trailer, but they probably can't afford a house. And now with interest rates, that home ownership thing it's not easy for most people, even middle-class people, it's not easy for. So, low-income people are gonna struggle.
Okay.
Took a field trip
Yes.
to St. Martinville
Yeah.
and
Yeah, it
looked
was
at the
fun.
modular homes, a bunch of us.
We did. Yeah, I lined that up. It was a long time ago.
Oh, I wasn't here, obviously.
No, ma'am, a long time ago.
But it was nice, it was nice.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Who didn't speak yet, so I can be traffic cop? Yes, ma'am.
I have a question about the demo list. Buena Vista, does it look like that trailer was ever hooked up to utilities?
Yeah, but
Yeah?
not recently.
Oh, I don't know, it just looks so out of place.
It is very.
It is
Like it was just
It
kind
is
of
out of place.
tossed aside because
just
no one
to the
wanted it
side of
on
the
their property.
Yeah, because it's just like stuck on the side.
Yeah,
Agreed.
okay, I just didn't know if it ever had utilities.
But I think it was a family member of the people who own the land in that area.
That's what it looks like. I'm looking at the owner right here. Have you gotten in touch with them?
Put the
via
mother-in-law on the
mail
side.
yet?
I think it was
No?
mother. I think it was
I've
mom.
never seen it with power.
What's that?
I have never seen it with power. So
Okay.
I think that's what happened.
You've sent out the certified letters already, right?
No,
no,
No?
no, not for
Oh.
for this. no.
Okay.
no, what we're doing tonight is we're setting this for hearing.
Yeah, this is setting them for the public.
And then we send out the notices.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So we haven't done that yet.
Okay,
It's the first step.
got it.
And it's been a while because you remember we focused on the $500,000 demo grant. We focused on other things to fill up that bucket. So it's been a while.
It's been
Now
a
we're
long
back
time
to
since we
our
did
regular
this.
demos, our regular,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Did-
Oh, wait, you were finished?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Didn't they have a trailer on that lot and the camper was next to the trailer?
Not on Buena Vista.
No,
No,
I'm talking
no.
about Roger.
OJ, you saw the camper in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
photos.
Yeah, but that's all they had?
It's still there. It's just one camper and one trailer.
Yeah, it's a
so
camper and a trailer.
But someone's living in the trailer?
Nobody's
No.
living in either
No,
one.
okay.
No.
But at one time, someone was living in the trailer and the camper.
I've never seen it.
I mean, when I was, one of my councilmen's back there.
Yeah, I
they
think
were.
a long time ago they were.
Because it was supposed to be a temporary thing.
Right.
And it became a.
Yeah,
not
I've never seen
temporary.
anybody
Right.
in there.
It's been quite a few years.
Yeah, the trailer's blown out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's nothing left to it.
Yeah, okay.
Anybody?
No, I just wanted to, to my anti-trailer people, I hope they're not anti-extending that grace period for a year for people to get time to move a mobile home back into that property. It's gonna amount to the same thing, probably. You either get a modular or not, but at least give them, a little more time. 6 months just don't sound right in that type of, for that type of process.
One thing to note about the 6 months is I start that time period the day you get the permit, whether they move it or they demo it.
Right.
'Cause sometimes people take lag
Yeah.
doing it, but the
Right.
6 months starts when they
So
pull a
need to be
permit.
lined up with
They
their
need, that's what I tell them. I say, y'all need to have it lined up before
pull
you
the
even go get
permit till you're lined
I
up.
understand that part. I understand that part.
Okay. Any other discussion on anything?
So do we have a date?
He said October 1st.
Yeah.
And we have been, we were talking to several different attorneys about who would be appointed to give notice to absentee owners. We had Linda one doing that for a while. For a long time, we had Joe Burt doing that. I thank them both. I talked to several attorneys who were not interested, and I called McKinley James. McKinley James is the guy who's working on the tax sale revision that we want to do, and I asked him if he would do that. He's an attorney, he does real estate work, he writes title insurance, he understands real estate. He's the guy who appeared already here before. I told him I didn't think he had to come back, because we've all seen him. Got a long, big old beard.
Yeah.
He's a cool beard.
He's a
But
cool guy.
he said he would do it, and he would do it for the same rate, which is, an hourly rate plus out-of-pocket expenses that the other people did. So when we set the hearing date for these, we also ought to appoint McKinley James as the attorney to give notice to absentees. And we got 2 or 3 of them here that we'd have to give notice to. Agnes Butler bought the property in 1939 on one of the properties. That's going to be an estate. We have several other estates, so we do have to give notice to some of those people through an attorney.
Okay. Then we have a date. We got a first and a second. We had a discussion. If there's nothing further, please vote your machines. Thank you all very
All right.
much.
And
Good
I'll
discussion.
contact McKinley about the people.
Cool. Now we have item 6A, Madam Clerk.
Babette Lestrapes to present the monthly budget actual report from November 1st, 2023 through August 31st, 2024.
Keep in mind, this is before any of the budget adjustments that I've just introduced tonight. So once we have those actually adopted and posted, these numbers, the percentages will be more in line with where they should be for the year. Okay, general fund, we have budgeted revenue 32.7 million. We're actual through the end of August of 2024, 17.8 million, which is almost 55% of the budget. The expenditures for general fund, we have budgeted 37.8 million. Actual is 20 million, and that represents 53% of the budget. Sales taxes, we had budgeted revenue is 10.5 million. Actual is 8.2 million, or 78% of the budget. The expenditures for sales taxes is 15.4 million budgeted. Actual is 6.1 million, so it's at just under 40% of the budget. Pepperplex revenue, budgeted revenue is 800,000. We had 622,000, which is 78% of the budget. Budgeted expenses for the Pepperplex total 964,000. Actual is 221,000, which is 23% of the budget. The public safety tax, we have 4.2 million budgeted in revenue. Actual is 3.2 million, so just under 77% of the budget. The expenditures for the public safety tax, we have 4.2 million budgeted. Actual is 2.1 million, which is 50% of the budget. Highway 14 TIF, we have budgeted revenues of 355,000. Actual is 264,000, which is 74% of the budget. Budgeted, expenses for Highway 14 TIF is 1.1 million. We had 2,000, which is only 0.18% of the budget, and that's because of the projects. Spanish Trail TIF, we have budgeted 31,000. Actual is 28,000, which is 90% of our budget. On the expenditures, we budgeted $284. We had $199, which is 70% of our budget.
Clerical.
That's it.
On Parks and Recreation, we have budgeted revenues of 1.2 million. Actual is 845,000, which is 69% of our budget. The expenditures for Parks and Recreation, we have budgeted 1.7 million. Actual is 1.2 million, which is 70% of our budget. On the Pepperplex, we have 4 million budgeted in revenue. We have 471,000, which is 12% of our budget. And that represents those grants that we have yet to receive the monies on. Pepperplex expenditures budgeted is 4.1 million. Actual is just under 792,000, which is 19% of the budget. Public Works Fund, we have budgeted revenue of 3.2 million. Actual is 1.7 million, which is 53% of our budget. The expenses for Public Works, we have budgeted 3.7 million. Actual is 2.3 million, which is 62% of the budget. A Garbage Fund, we have 4.2 million budgeted revenue, 3.3 million in actual revenue, which is 78% of the budget. Expenditures for the Garbage Fund, 4.3 million is budgeted. We had 3.5 million, which is 81% of the budget.
Bobby, can I stop you right there for a quick question?
Sure.
So garbage fund, revenue is 77% versus 83% for the 10 months, but our expenses are above our revenue. You anticipate that to level off in the next,
And we do have a small operating transfer that we do need to subsidize garbage a little bit in 2024.
And the reason is I know garbage is getting expensive, and I just want to make aware that these numbers are really, really tight on garbage.
Oh, yeah,
Correct.
We will be
It's
over.
like 25,000, right?
Yeah, we
That's
will
all
be
the
over,
adjustments.
the luxury of the contract we had for 7 years was that whatever we collected is what we paid, okay? No one will ever sign that again. So we bid it out, we got the low bidder, but we will always, in every community, we were very much the rarity that we didn't lose any money in garbage because of that contract. It worked once, it didn't work twice. So basically, we will subsidize garbage because I don't see a way out.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And that company's out of business.
Yeah, and that company that made that
No.
deal,
It just the comment was that it's expensive it's expensive to service garbage.
It is.
Correct.
Very much.
And people know, and as elected official, this is one of the biggest complaints we get sometimes is garbage. So, we're monitoring it really close, and it's a
We
tight
are.
fund.
Thank you.
But it
is.
is really tight.
And will continue to be because they get an increase in their contract. So as the years go by, this is one that,
And we rely on the sales tax collections to
Yes.
fund it.
Yes.
And they were the low bid. I mean,
And they were a little bit, so, we took it.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, the Section 8 voucher fund, we have budgeted 1.9 million in revenue. Actual is 1.6 million, which is 85% of their budget. Budgeted expenses is 1.9 million as well. Actual is 1.5 million, which is 82% of their budget. Then wastewater fund, we have budgeted 15.3 million in revenue. Actual is 4.4 million, which is 29% of their budget. The expenditures is 20.6 million. Budgeted, actual is 4.5 million, which is 22% of the budget. Any questions?
Questions, comments?
No, we'll just see, you'll make the transfers and we'll see it the next time, right? The update.
After the budget is, the amendments to the budget are actually adopted. So it may not be next meeting, it may be the meeting after, because they
fine.
have
After
to.
that, right.
Yeah.
Once we adopt it, then she'll run it. and-
Yeah,
She can't
that's
bring
cool.
Yeah, I don't post them until
Yeah, we
they've
gotta
actually
approve 'em.
been
Gotta
adopted.
Okay,
Okay,
we're good.
Cool.
all right, thank you.
Bobby.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Okay, now, Madam Clerk, 7A.
A discussion on possible contract services for grass cutting.
Okay, this is my item that I had mentioned at the last meeting that I would like to kind of flesh out. These are the beginnings of fleshing it out, and I'll take all the help I can get, okay? What I want to do is pick a couple of size lots and then acreage. So let's say a 50 by 100 lot, let's say a 100 by 100 lot, and then let's say per acre. Bid that out. Go through our normal procurement, make sure people meet all the qualifications, and bid it out. okay? I didn't adjust a budget for this yet, okay? So that would be coming. But the first step would be to bid it out and see what we're up against. See what those costs are. So you have a low bidder and you have other bidders. Now they're in a pool. So if the low bidder is, I'm just round, we're just talking. If it's $200 to cut a 50 by 100 lot, well, that one grass person might not be able to cut all of them because they have a grass business and they're doing other stuff. And let's say in the spring, we say we're getting behind, we're gonna take 50, look at a budget, do a budget amendment, we're gonna take and cut 50 lots. Well, that guy might say, I can do a couple of them, okay? Well, we're willing to go to the next bidders and say, for that low price. So for $200, you would bid 220. If you can match that price and do it for 200, then we can put you on the rotation. So we could end up with a little army of subcontractors that would be willing for the low bid price to cut that 50 by 100 lot. Same thing with 100 by 100, same thing per acre. Now we got some horsepower. Then we can say, all right, Public Works, and a lot of times, I'm not knocking Public Works, it's because we have other projects, we have other things they're doing. They still provide in-kind work for grant matches, they still do all kind of other things in our community. We get hit by a storm, we get some unusual amount of wastewater patches as well as pothole patches. We on them to run the hot patch machine, whatever. So they're not getting, only have so many soldiers and there's too many battles. So that's when we just pick up the phone, call, and say, okay, we're gonna cut these lots with, subcontract labor. But this would give us a pool to go through that. I need the pricing to be able to kind of set a budget. And in planning on doing a budget minute before, we're about to get in the season where grass slows down. I know South Louisiana, but it even does for us, where grass slows down. So I want to be ready for the spring so that we don't get so backed up as we have become. And this is an alternative in a way. I need to know what it's going to cost, but it's an alternative to get more grass cut, get those complaints down, get those hot spots done. So that's the concept. I didn't invent any of this. This has been done before. Babette and I had a conversation. This is pretty much exactly how they handled it years ago when she was here. So I think it makes sense to do that. I'm opening up the floor for discussion.
So
Sir.
legally, we can call somebody and say, hey, you are not low, but if you meet this price, you can do it.
Well, it's kind of like when we do state contract. We buy vehicles on state contract, and let's say it's $20,000. There are times that I go to people and say, if you match the state contract price, I can buy, and it meets the same criteria, I can buy that,
That's immovables, we talking service.
Yeah,
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That's a difference.
I think you're right.
So you don't think we can do it?
No, I don't
I
think
think
so.
you're right, because I think, services, yeah. I mean, we don't have to bid services.
No?
Yeah, but I still want them to match the lowest price so that I'm being responsible.
Well, I'm all for it. I'm
Yeah.
just,
It's totally different, but
Yeah,
that's right.
because we
Yeah.
pick,
No,
the
no,
mayor
yeah.
picks professional
It's
services.
service.
But at the same time, I want to get it as economically as I can. So our policy would be, I'm gonna match the low price.
So that's worst case scenario. So just like you open a bid package, we open a bid package, well, number one doesn't qualify because this, you move on to the next one. You can't go to his number, you gotta accept his bid. The second bid. So that's what's Dan's
But I
question.
get the authority to negotiate, and there are times that I negotiate services.
But you don't have to bid services.
Right, I wouldn't have to. I could though. I mean, you can't. I
No,
can.
you can.
Yeah.
You can, but you don't have to, that's right.
You don't have to. But I don't think if you decide to bid services, you have to follow the bid law for services.
My question.
Okay.
I don't think so.
And you
I
have the
think-
criteria of the insurance.
Oh,
all that
God,
stuff.
yeah. We got to, I'm going to cover us like we do with
there
everything.
you
We have normal procurement policies, and we're not going to deviate from that. So if it's $1 million umbrella policy, if it's, whatever it is, I mean, all the requirements of insurance, of licenses, of whatever, people are going to have to meet that.
and you only talk about empty lots, not yards.
I was just going to start with empty lots. I think that's the easiest one. You get a lot clean. That's less stuff you're going to hit. You're not going to damage somebody's
Yeah, that's cool.
house or something like that. I mean, we're trying to just do this in the most economical way. It gave me, more soldiers.
I'm fine.
And I think if you put this out there and said, okay, tell us what you would charge.
Right.
If it totally doesn't work, you don't do it.
Yeah,
But-
that's exactly right. That's why
Yeah.
I want to get permission
You want the prices.
to do this so I can get
Yeah,
the prices.
you gotta price it.
If it's triple what it costs us at Public Works, well then
That's
I
the
might
thing,
have to not be able to do that.
Now, you're still gonna have to,
What's
if you wanna add it to taxes, you gotta give them notice and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
That-
and we'll do an
that
RFP and
bottleneck,
get some
yeah.
proposals,
You gotta get the bottleneck, yeah.
Why don't we
Yes, ma'am.
just set a fee scale? Like, let the public know what we as a city are willing to pay.
I think we need to do a market study first by getting prices. In other words, if I'm out the box and I say $50 and it's 30, I just spent too much money.
Oh.
By the other, the knife cuts both ways.
Exactly, the
So-
state does.
Yeah, I know. See, because the state pays us $30,000, $35,000 to cut $50,000 worth of grass. I mean, we're losing money.
Dictators.
So to me, get some prices first, and then mark our budget with that.
Okay, gotcha. I see
Yeah.
what you're saying. I was thinking
Yeah.
more along the lines of whenever I would get our grass cut, how much I would pay. I don't have a lot of grass, but it's like $45.
Right.
Probably 55 now.
Yes.
That was years ago. And then we just go from there. But yeah, I guess to have people say what they were willing to,
And then I have
Do
a
it for.
baseline to negotiate off of.
yeah.
And if you're bidding on that, they're probably not, they'd love to cut your yard, but it's probably not where they're gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
you're right.
and
That's
there's
true.
gonna be junk in it, and there's gonna, tall
Yeah,
weeds, and
yeah.
it's gonna
a
be,
different animal. I don't
yeah,
think
it's
that
gonna be
price
hazard pay.
Yeah, it has. Thank you. Thank you. I like that.
Okay.
Thank you. Anybody else?
No, I just like the idea. I think Dee Dee brought it up one time. We need to look at that. I mean, just so much backlog, man.
I know.
I hate grass.
I know. And we've cut
want-
more
I hate this
grass.
time of year.
We have more lots to cut than we've ever had before. I don't have more people. We don't have more soldiers.
You gave the number to them?
I have more lawnmowers because it seems like every time we get money from the state, we buy zero-turn lawnmower. I don't know how many lawnmowers I got. I got more lawnmowers than I got people to ride them. At least it feels that way. So I think this is an alternative to try to catch up because we have become way too many people's yard man,
Right.
for whatever reason.
Now, when you say that, when you first said that, I've always agreed with that. The city shouldn't be a
No,
yard man.
when should be in the yard business, but we are.
Well, the yard man, a last resort,
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank
but
you.
it's kind of the last resort sometimes.
Yeah,
And then in those criterias, we're gonna have to, or these contractors gonna say, are you gonna let it get to 16 inches, to 12 inches, or, cause that makes a difference on their bid.
well, I'm gonna try to do it where it's, what our ordinance says,
Yeah, no, we have to.
Yeah, I can't let it grow 3 times as much and say, oh, well, we're just waiting for a
You gotta go with a
contract.
tractor instead of a zero turn, different price.
What usually happens is you turn it in,
It keeps growing.
yeah, and the grass has to be 12 inches allegedly everywhere on the whole lot before they'll even, turn it in to be cut. And then you go through the process, and that's another month maybe. So by that time, it's 2 feet tall.
Oh, yes, ma'am. It never quits growing.
If not taller than that, depending on the rain. So get some prices on cutting
yeah.
tall grass.
Yes, ma'am. I think you're right.
Mostly with a butch hog, maybe.
Mr. Councilman Broussard, then I'll come back to you.
People have to understand that we're charging back these lots, whoever owns these lots, their taxes, or how we getting our money back.
Well, we get our money back if they pay their taxes.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah, you got,
Somewhere down the road.
Yes, sir.
Some you get back, most you don't.
Mike's not on.
Thank you, Mr. Broussard. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So, with all of the things we've talked about grass over the last couple of years, can we just maybe sit down and look at that grass ordinance and decide what needs to be done? Because I know that, even if we get these contractors in there, we want guidelines. Because, Dan complains about contractors leaving grass all over the street. We don't want that to become an issue with these new people.
Right.
We got homeowners doing that. Can we do a kind of a grass package?
We put in
and
their
say-
contract, if he goes in the street, I'm not paying him.
Well, but we need a fine associated with that, even for homeowners, because it's out of control, and it is homeowners just as much as contractors. Ms. Ledbetter can tell you, we know in our area, that's what we see. So my thing is that it would be great if we kind of really focus on grass and come up with a pretty comprehensive package to say, here's going to be your fine, here's what we expect, and then when these contractors come on board, they got to follow those rules. Otherwise, yeah, we're going to either deduct it from the pay, and you're going to clean it up, or we're going to just fine you outright. I mean, we got to figure out a way to get this under control from all aspects, not just the vacant lots. We got this is an issue throughout the city, and it causes problems with the drains. So we could help ourselves by putting some teeth in our ordinance to make sure that this problem gets somewhat resolved. Not that it's gonna all be resolved, but somewhat resolved.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Because oftentimes you turn in the address, the one, Corner Bank and
In Dale.
Dale. They get the letter
Yep.
every time, and they cut the grass on a regular basis too. And it goes straight in the street every time.
Yep.
Every time.
And they've got tons of letters.
Mm-hmm.
They just toss them.
Lots of people get the letters and,
Man, we have we have lots and acreage that we chronically cut.
But you know,
these are homeowners though,
Yeah.
doing it.
Okay.
hit them in the pocketbook. No one wants to pay $75 or $100, $150 because they put grass in the street. Hit them in the pocketbook.
Yeah, the letter needs to have more teeth in it. Like the second time you get the letter, then there's some consequences. You know?
$75.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's some consequences. Normally we just send a letter again. You might send it 3 times, you might send it 4 times, and they're still doing the same thing.
It's got to be a fine. Okay.
Anybody else? Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I don't, and this, Dan and somebody, a couple of weeks before, last time we talked about grass, a friend of mine called me and he said, and this is your district, I think, where the Kentucky Fried Chicken is.
Yep.
He said whoever the contractors were over there, that's in your district, David? Kentucky
No.
Fried Chicken.
District.
District,
Kentucky's not my district.
Kentucky Fried
Mine.
Chicken?
that's District 4.
Yep.
Somebody complained about the contractors over there. And this guy, he's a farmer. He called me and he said, man, I saw y'all talking about grass the other day. He said, man, I saw the contractors at Kentucky Fried Chicken. He said, I like what y'all got, but how do y'all enforce it? You know.
You enforce it on the people that own the property, and they have to enforce it on their people, on whoever they hire to cut their
Contractor.
grass. That's the only way you're gonna be able to do it, because you're not gonna catch the contractor. They're gonna be gone by the time somebody goes over there. You gotta say, you own this property, you get this fine. Now go tell your contractor, don't do it again. Need teeth.
Anybody else? So, okay if I proceed, I know it's just a discussion item, but it's okay, and I'll bring back whatever I find, but it's okay if I proceed with getting, kind of starting to flesh this out of how contractors can come in and help us.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Might lessen some of the calls we have to make
Well,
of
that's
sending
what
in
I'm
stuff for riding around
do.
checking grass.
Yeah, it's a combination of a chain reaction of events that if I could cut some of this down, it would be really good for all of us. Okay, cool, thank y'all for that. Now we go to item 8, Councilman's remarks. I'll start with you, Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte.
I'm gonna pass tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just want to say thank you to everybody who came out to the political forum last night. It was well attended. We got some great feedback. And remember to go out and vote November the 5th.
Thank you. Councilman Broussard.
On our second round of our ribbon cutting, Mr. Mayor, we got blown away with the hurricane, so please, anybody can make it. It's my grandpa and his brother, not great-grandpa, my grandpa and his brother. Very proud of the plaques that we're going ribbon cutting. So if y'all can make it, it's for past 1890, 1900. What got done way back to make our Iberia parish like it is. There's not many, I don't think, U.S. senators in our Iberia parish that were elected. They were back to back. So I'm proud of them. Anybody can make it. September the 24th, 10:30 a.m. in the morning. So please try to come make it and see our plaques, Mr. Mayor. Thank you and this whole council. I use my money that we got from the grants. And I think it'll be good in the long run. So anybody can come, please, September 24th, 10:30,
Where?
Willie Plaza.
Bullitt Plaza, at Liberty Bell.
There in the back, close. Yeah, I'll send a reminder. There in the back, close to the Veterans Memorial. Because remember, Robert Broussard was a Rough Rider with Teddy Kennedy, so, Teddy Roosevelt. Teddy Kennedy.
Different kind of rough ride.
Yeah, too kind, never mind. with Teddy Roosevelt. So it was fitting to put him in the back. The Rough Riders, of course, charged up the hill in Cuba. That I thought was, a fitting place to honor them. Thank you, Mr. Broussard.
So just a FYI, at probably one of the biggest tourist weekends, or one of the biggest tourist weekends next weekend when we celebrate the Sugarcane Festival. It's 222 years to showcase our city and this weekend. So come out to support a lot of family events, a good time. Let's pray for good weather. Also, in relation to that, as of next Tuesday, every meal in Iberia Parish will be running. So stay safe, be careful, support the industries that support this community heavily, and we're looking out for our community and trying to be safe. So.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
This month, Neighborhood Watch is going to be canceled. We'll resume in probably October. And we'll have it in November too. So just to let you know, no Neighborhood Watch here in September. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to start by reiterating what Councilman Lewis said. The political forum was awesome. We got great information from the candidates, so thank you guys for coming out and really being transparent with the community. I have heard a lot of great things about all of you. So, and our moderators were awesome. It was a great night, so thank you guys for that. I want to remind everybody also that September 19th is the Zydeco Bingo at the West End Park from 11 to 2. And if you have not called and given your name, you need to do that because there's only a certain number of seats. So you just show up. If your name's not on the list, they may not have place for you. So don't take that chance. Call the number that's on the flyer and get your reservation in there. And then I also want to remind everybody that the St. Outwoods Church Fair is coming up October 18th through the 20th. And so, this is a great time held for everyone in the community. They are looking for donations. They want people to come out and enjoy themselves. So please put it on your calendar. It's October 18th through the 20th. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, as Ricky mentioned about the Sugarcane Festival next weekend, traffic might be a little thick. Have a little patience. Some roads might be closed, but it's gonna be. I hope the weather's good, and I want to let the people know that the curfew for the hurricane was implemented by the parish, not by the city.
Correct.
And that the city policemen did a great job going around the neighborhoods, see if anybody needed help. They really did a great job. Thank God we missed it. It was close. We missed it, and I think talking about the garbage, but tonight they back on track. I think they're doing their best and they're doing a great job. Our garbage people collecting, and when someone's pickup, I'm gonna say it again, is Monday, and they pick it up Monday afternoon, not Monday morning. It's still Monday. Okay, I had a few calls this Monday. Look, it's 9:30. Normally they come at 8:30. Today they should come. They called, they came. So Monday is Monday. Just
All
be
day.
happy it's the whole day. So I want to let you know they all doing better. And thank goodness, some people, we talking about grass, it's a big deal for them. In my district, it's garbage. So that's it. So I hope next weekend everybody comes out and has a good time. Thank you.
Good.
I had a comment
Sure.
about here. About the garbage. Now, that's another thing. We're talking about sending the letters out for grass, but we also do it for bringing your trash can into your yard after the garbage is picked up. And some people religiously leave their can out until the next time. All they do is just add bags into it. They never take it from the street. So that's another thing that we really need to look at a fine for. If, you just need to pull it back towards your house. You can leave it in your front yard if you want to, but, pull it from the street. And I've gotten several complaints recently about trash cans being left and they draw ants, because people walk to the street and put the garbage in there, but it's Monday and they don't come till Thursday. And they've been putting it in ever since last Thursday. So that's an issue that we definitely need to address too.
And remember, it's good exercise.
We gotta add a fine to it.
Okay.
We have an ordinance.
Yeah, we have an ordinance. so
Or the neighbor can bring it to the back.
Yeah.
I do it for my neighbor.
There you go.
Well, she's up in age. I do it for exercise.
Good. I also attended the forum. It was very well run, so congratulations to that. Because I know that some of you were involved in that. It was very well, it was informative. Thank you, some of you involved with that, for the candidates, because y'all all did a really good job. And I'm very excited to see who, I don't want to lose my team, but I'm very excited to see who the new team is going to be made up of. And I am committed to make a team out of whoever the voters send me. But it was really well attended, so well-run event. It is the 81st Sugarcane Festival. So that's something to be proud of. What a tradition. It's coming. The roads are blocked off. Downtown is blocked off even more than usual. I think we have a little bit of extra time that the Main Street will be blocked, but it's a big festival. It brings in thousands of people. It's a great economic boost, and it's part of our culture. So enjoy the Sugarcane Festival, and I'm very proud to say that for the next 6 weekends, we have events downtown. This weekend is the Bayou Tesh Fest, where we have a few antique boats and a few cars, and that's growing every year. And then it just takes off. Sugarcane Festival, Gumbo, Flamingo Ride, Halloween Parade, and I'm missing one, and I'm trying to think of what the other one is. Beneath the Balconies. So, with 6 weekends of events, you can't say our community doesn't have anything to do. You can't say that our downtown is not an important part of our entire town and our entire community. There's something for everybody, so get out and enjoy. But, that's a record to have 6 weekends in a row. We will probably wear out our police department and our public works crews because we've never had that much in a row. We'll see. We might have to space a few of them. Many of them can't move. I mean, they're traditionally, their time is always the same. But some of the other ones, we'll see how it works 6 in a row. But with that, be safe and looking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
We should get the